You want to achieve sales mastery? It's not about shortcuts or magic tricks. It's about something way more powerful, something that most people just completely overlook. But here's the thing. Most salespeople give up way too soon, killing their chances of ever reaching their true potential in sales. Because the secret to sales mastery isn't talent. It's the relentless, consistent effort that compounds over time, and I'm going to show you how. First off, there's a myth out there that there are natural-born salespeople. Now, I'll be the first to admit there are some people that naturally are a little better at talking to others or a little more quick-witted than others. But what I've truly experienced is the most successful salespeople have put in countless hours of practice. They've dealt with more setbacks than anyone else, and they've continuously worked on refining their skills. There's power in consistent action. Small steps every day can lead to significant results over time. So if you think of investing, for example, if you're investing in the stock market, or you're even putting money into a bank account with a savings, like those little deposits over and over again add up. When you start compounding the interest, it's crazy to see the exponential growth that can happen over time. The same is true in sales. Think of selling as investing into your knowledge, your skills, your relationships. And if you do that daily, that compounds over time and really leads to exponential sales growth in your career. So if you think about just like developing any skill, maybe it's learning a musical instrument. Daily practice, even if it's a few minutes a day, is going to be a lot better than a couple-hour session every few weeks, right? I think about some of the top athletes, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, some of the greatest ever to do it. They weren't naturally the most gifted athletes. Now, they did have some natural gifts and abilities, sure, right? You have to be on that level. And what made each of them great, you hear the interviews from teammates, competitors they played against, themselves. They were some of the hardest working individuals. They put time in every day. They were consistent. They were consistent in their process. They were consistent in learning and getting better. They were always looking for that one little thing that could make them a little bit better, right? The little things often made the big differences over time. The same can be true in sales. Like making 5 prospecting calls a day, I would much rather see someone do that than not do any prospecting all week and do 25 calls on one day all at once. You're going to have more of a roller coaster if you can be consistent in your processes, your follow-up, your prospect, your meetings. It creates a way more enjoyable life in sales, and your results compound so much more quickly. The other part is not just the effort in the job, but the time you spend working on your craft and getting better. Spending 30 minutes a day to study your product, your industry, sales techniques will also compound over time and make you the expert. If not in years, maybe even in months. It was always disappointing to me when I had sold a product or service for years to have peers who'd done it at the same time that couldn't answer basic questions or that were still struggling with the same objections. And it's because they didn't take the time to learn and study and grow and invest and get better. Why get into sales if you're not going to get better at it? And the amazing thing I found is the more I've worked on my ability to sell and influence others, the more it impacts my entire life. My relationships have improved with my spouse, my kids. As I work really hard in sales, it usually motivates me to pick another area of my life, my health, my fitness, my spirituality, my relationship with God. Like all those things I've worked on and improved as well. And you focus on one area of your life, it often impacts others. Now, what I will say though, is there are lots of obstacles and challenges that can come being in the sales industry. Let's be real, it's not always easy. You face rejection, deals, you encounter difficult customers. That's all part of the process. And so we really have to have growth mindset. That's why in my course Sales Inception, I focus so much on your mindset first. Look, and it seems like every course out there wants to start with mindset. And if you don't have the right way of thinking about yourself, if you don't view yourself powerfully, if you don't frame yourself as someone who's going to come and give value and serve and take care of others, and you don't look at obstacles as opportunities to grow and get better, you're going to find this very difficult. Each no in sales really ought to be viewed as one step closer to yes. And look, I've sometimes seen sales reps where all they do is talk about the big deal they lost, big deal they didn't close, or how things fell apart. Good luck at getting better if that's your attitude. When you get a no, look at that as an opportunity to learn. One of the greatest things that's helped me sell millions in sales transactions, close thousands of deals over my sales career, is that every time I got a no, I would walk away thinking, what could I have done to maybe turn that to a yes? You'll find patterns. Look, if you're finding the same objection comes up over and over and over again, always at the same time, whether that's early in the conversation, towards the end of the conversation, that's a clue. There's something you could be doing different. There's something you need to change in your process. There's something you need to say differently. That doesn't happen if you don't have a growth mindset. That doesn't happen if you aren't consistent day in and day out. I've really found that setbacks are inevitable. And the key to develop resilience is to learn from each experience and just move forward. I want to say it might be in Hal Elrod's The Miracle Equation, most known for writing The Miracle Morning. And he talks about, he was in sales for a time and talks about his sales career. And he set a rule for himself. I believe it's from this book. Maybe I'm quoting the wrong one. That when something went wrong, he only gave himself 5 minutes to dwell. And after 5 minutes, he wasn't allowed to pout anymore. Such a good rule to live by, especially in sales. Look, things are going to go wrong. You're going to sell a job and then operations is going to screw it up. You're going to sell a job and a competitor is going to come in and undercut you. Learn from those experiences. Learn how to do it better the next time. Develop a growth mindset. Look, sales really is a long game. And if you want to build a successful sales career, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If you treat this like a sprint, you're going to be riding a roller coaster. The momentum's going to go up and down. So, look, sales mastery isn't achieved overnight. It's a long-term journey of continuous learning, adaptation, and growth. The best salespeople, they're lifelong learners. They consistently seek new knowledge. They refine their skills. They adapt to changing market conditions. So, invest in yourself. Invest in your professional development. Buy the book. Listen to the podcast in the car ride. Buy the course. There's so many great courses online for just a few $100 or less that can teach you so many good things. Go to a workshop in your area. Go to the sales conference that's going. Find mentors. Pay for mentors. Seek feedback from colleagues and mentors to identify areas where you can improve. I would love to share something with you. I want to invite you to join my online community. It's down in the links below, the Everyday Sales Leader community. Join it so you can communicate and collaborate with others who are in sales and access my sales course, Sales Inception, at no cost. Really to be able to level up yourself on your sales journey. Listen, selling is a beautiful thing. Selling is noble. We're not just selling our products or services. We're providing solutions and helping people improve their lives and their business. And if you're not continuously improving in sales, I believe you have a moral obligation to your clients to do so. They deserve a better version of you. The prospects you're going to talk to next week deserve a better version of you. So go work on getting better. I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Everyday Sales Leader community in the show notes below. This is your daily dose of Sales Inception.